When looking to create your final portfolio for this course, or looking for certain images anytime, it's always a good idea to use your library filter, good use of collections, smart collections, collection sets, etc. Here, I'm going to click on the plus sign next to collections and choose Create Collection Set. I'm going to call it Digital Photography Workflow. And create. So I can see up here there's nothing in that collection set so far. So I'm just going to click on the Module 1 collection I've made for the course, Shift and click on the Module 8 collection, and just drag and drop those into the Digital Photography Workflow collection set. Now all of the images for the entire course are in this one collection set. Okay. So to identify some of the starred images or flagged images, I can go ahead to the library filter and click on Attribute and simply click on Flagged, and now all of the flagged images will show up. If I want to click on star ratings, assuming the 5-star images are the most portfolio worthy, I might have a few missing here. You should have more than these. That's a good place to start. I might go ahead and create a collection inside the collection set, Digital Photography Workflow, and call it Portfolio. Okay. And let's see. I missed one step there. When creating that, I only had selected images, I believe. So if I had had all of them selected, it would have gone ahead and added them to the portfolio collection. It looks like that disappeared by undoing, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Include selected photos and create. Now I have these 7 images. I'm not necessarily going to use these all, but it's a good place to start. Now to look at all of the flagged images, I first need to remember to go back to my digital photography workflow collection set, and then I can click on Attribute. I'm going to go ahead and clear it by clicking on None. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on Flag. Here I might be able to identify some of the flagged images that could be portfolio contenders that might not have 5 stars. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop those into the portfolio folder. I'm going to want 10 to 15 images. So I'm going to be pretty liberal here when dragging and dropping the images, and then I can take a look as a whole which images I may or may not want to use. You're also welcome to use some of the images using texture or emulsion simulation or your HDR or Pano images and so forth. Okay. So I made a little mistake here. The Module 1 images that were not shot specifically for this course should not be eligible for the portfolio contentions. So any of those that might have made it in there, I'm just going to go ahead and remove from the collection. There's those two. So I'm just going to take those out of the collection, and then I can go ahead back to the entire folder and look for any images I might have missed, maybe that didn't achieve a flag or 5 stars, but I still might like within the portfolio. I'm getting a bit too many in here at the moment, but I'll just go ahead and remove some as necessary. Okay, as a way to add to the portfolio on an ongoing basis, at this point I might go ahead and select all of these images and go ahead and add 5 stars and a flag in case they weren't already as such. And I have that portfolio folder there. For images that may come into Lightroom in the future, and you say your criteria for potential portfolio images is 5 stars and a flag, you can create something called a smart collection that will add to a smart collection. I'll call it flag 5 star here, as you add images with those criteria. Okay, so it's asking you inside a collection set, not necessarily. I'll just put it in my overall collection set, not necessarily for this course. Match all of the following criteria. Rating star is greater than or equal to, I'll just go ahead and put 5. Then I'll click on the plus sign here. Pick flag is flagged. If I wanted to add more criteria like color labels or perhaps a keyword, I could do that as well, but in this case I'm just going to keep it to flagged and 5 star. Create. Okay, so now all of those images are there. So let's say I go ahead and add a flag and 5 star to this image. If I go back to that smart collection I just created, now that image has automatically been added there. That's for future use. I'm going to come back to this portfolio collection, and now I could just go ahead and remove certain images from the collection that I don't think should be there and go ahead and sequence. Here I do not necessarily want 2 versions of the same image, so I'm going to for sure remove one of those. Right. Perhaps I'll remove this image. I have 17, I just need to remove 2 more, or I could remove up to 7 more. Just depends how many you want within the portfolio. I'm fond of this image. I don't think it fits in quite as well as some of the others though, so I'm just going to remove that. And I'll go ahead and remove the horse. Okay, now I have 15 images within the collection. I would go about sequencing the images in an order that was beneficial.